Can I get a confirmation that we are now live? We're copying the streaming link. It is streaming link is now live. Hi, Shobi. I'm just gonna let you know that we are live on YouTube right now. So just giving you a heads up.
Should we turn our cameras on off or?
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna make you co-host.
Cool.
To go.
Okay, cameras on.
Yeah, it's just during presentations, we can turn it off. I'm just gonna check one thing. Also, if anyone is watching us at the moment, hello. Shobi and I will be hosting today's finals presentation. Shobi, I'll be right back. I'm going to make you host. I need to hop into the room. If you can just make me co-host, I need to hop into the breakout room.
Yeah, no stress. There you go.
Perfect. I'm back, Shobi. If you want to just swap over at you, I'll do it.
Say it again, sorry?
All good. I made myself host again.
Okay. Sounds good.
And again, to all the people who are watching us, whether you be family of participants or coaches, or even just participants yourselves, welcome. Again, Shobi and I will be hosting today's finals presentation after we announce the winners. But I think at this point, Shobi, if you can just ask our team if they're ready to begin announcement. If not, we can just have a nice chit chat.
Sounds good. I'll be right back. Yep. So I think we're gonna set about 5 minutes.
All right, so welcome everyone. This is a bit nerve-wracking. I'm going to be honest. I think I never had that many pairs of eyes staring staring at me at the same time. So first of all, I don't have any speech prepared for this, to be completely honest, but I think I could start by saying thank you all for having participated. I know for a fact that for all of you, it must have been a heck of an experience, and for sure a lot of energy that you've put into this, and we really appreciate all of you for having attended our event, even if it's a bit in a complicated context. I think you all did extremely well. With that being said, so what we did in the last couple minutes is we aggregated the scores of the complete competition overall. And so I have the final results. There are some teams who were a little bit close from one another within the same division. And so what we did is we backtracked everything all the way to the preliminary round, and we calculated everything to 2 decimal places to make sure that everything was perfect, and we triple checked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go division by division. I'm going to announce everybody's scores. And for those teams who were closer from one another, I'm going to give you also your 2 decimals, so we're all on the same page. Yeah, so without further ado, again, thank you all for attending, and let's go through it. So for Division 1, who had teams Glass Logic, Gamecock Consulting, KMGK, and Transeo Consulting. So we start with Gamecock Consulting with 251 points competition overall. And we have KMGK with 248 points. Then we have Transeo Consulting with 273.03 points. And finally, Glass Logic, who will be moving to the final round with 278.38 points. So congratulations to Glass Logic. We will see you again presenting soon. And thank you to all the other teams, obviously, also for participating. Great job. In Division 2, with Top Consulting, Glass Solutions, Global Assets, and Flame Consulting, I have, first of all, Flames Consulting with 139 points competition overall. Top Consulting with 192 points. Global Assets with 275 points, and finally Glass Solutions, who will be our Division 2 team, who will be moving to the final with 334 points overall. Congratulations. Within Division 3, with New Ways Consulting and Vault Consulting, we have New Ways Consulting with 266 points and Vault Consulting with 292 points. Which, as you have all been communicated, what we did for this division, as we are missing some teams, is that this division is actually competing again against the overall average of all teams, which, as we have calculated is 265 points. This is the average of all teams' final scores. And so we have New Ways Consulting, again, with 266, and Vault Consulting with 292. Both teams were eligible for the final round. But with that being said, Vault Consulting will be our finalist team, again, with 292 points. And finally, within Division 3, with the Gurus, Explorers, Globe International, and Real Consulting, we had, first of all, let's see, the Explorers with 277 points. Then we have Real Consulting with 295 points. The Gurus with 297.62 points. And finally, Globe International, which will be our 4th finalist team with 299.50 points, 299.5. And so that's it. Again, our finalist teams, we're gonna have Glass Logic from Division 1, Glass Solutions from Division 2, Vault Consulting from Division 3, and finally, Globe International from Division 4. Again, congratulations to all 4 finalist teams. Great job. And again, overall, great job for everyone. I think you all performed exceptionally great. And yeah, without further ado, I think, Stefania, do you have a few details for our finalist teams to consider?
Hi everyone, so congratulations to all the qualifying teams. I will ask all the qualifying teams to remain in this Zoom room. We will assign you to a different breakout room and we'll give you further instructions. For all the other teams, congratulations as well. There will be a live streaming YouTube video that is available on our webpage. So ENGCOMM.ca, you can follow the presentations there. And if not, we will see you all tomorrow at our events on Saturday. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all
Thank you,
teams.
everyone.
Congratulations, everyone. Victor, do you mind just renaming yourself with your team, please, just so we know what team you are? Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to do that right now. It keeps changing whenever I join a Zoom meeting.
No worries.
Also, Stefania, after everyone is here, can you please just say the order of the presentations as well?
Yes, of course, definitely. So if we have any coaches for these teams, I will announce it now. We are actually going to have Glass Solutions presenting as soon as possible. So in 5 minutes, they're actually going to start, followed by Glass Logic at 5:30 p.m. in Eastern Time, Volt Consulting at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and Globe International at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Sounds good for everyone. Awesome. Do we have another thing to cover, Christina, or that pretty much sums it up?
No, just a reminder that we've all assigned breakout rooms per finalist. So basically, we will all go into our own breakout rooms, and then Glass Solutions will remain here. And then after, basically, you stay in your breakout room while another team is presenting. And then once you're done presenting, you can join via the YouTube link to watch the remaining teams.
So we're not allowed to leave?
Basically, so just so you don't watch every single finalist before your presentation, you'll be moved into your own breakout room with your team. So Volt Consulting, you'll be in a breakout room until your presentation. So then after your presentation is completed, there's still another team presenting after you. So then you will have to leave the Zoom link, but you can watch the last presentation after your team on the YouTube live stream link.
Okay, so we can talk with our teams in the interim?
Nick, would you like to confirm that?
Sorry, what was the question?
Sorry, Nick. From what I just caught of that conversation, we're allowed into the breakout rooms with our teams while they wait to present. So we're allowed to talk with them at that time, or is that
Actually no?
Oh,
Very
okay.
good question. No. So we want to restrict communications until after every presentation.
And that's fine. I wasn't sure. Are we allowed to watch the other presentations as coaches? As we go?
Yeah, as it's the final presentation, so there's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, the YouTube link that I believe has been distributed to you.
Okay, I'll have to look for that.
Stefania, Jeff, can you confirm if it's been distributed to all coaches and all participants?
Yep. There should also be a redirect. If you go engcom.ca/YouTube, you should be able to be redirected automatically. If
Okay.
anything, we will confirm. If you need any help, you can stay here and we'll send the link to you directly as well.
Okay, thanks. I'll check that out. Thanks. Bye.
So I'm just gonna have to move to the judges breakout room for all the judges. So Ali, also, we're all gonna move to this breakout room. So Judge Timekeeper, I'm just gonna have a quick announcement for all judges. I'll see you there.
Hi, I'm one of the judges. I clicked on, I got the link, and it's not clear to me where I go from here. Is everything going to be taken care of in the sense that I'll be moved to whatever room I need to be in, or?
Yep. Yep. So I'll be
So,
moving you
sorry,
in.
Christina,
right
you're on
away.
mute. Sorry, Nicola. Sorry, is that who's talking at this
It's
point?
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, there you are.
Yep. So I'll be moving you into your. Yeah, you said you're a judge.
Yeah, and I'm
Perfect.
trying to get on to the evaluation site. I'm trying to find the hyperlink to get onto that the Innova site, but I can't seem to find the link to get to that site.
Yeah, we'll have one of our team members help you out there.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. I guess I'll go to the room now. It
Yep,
says
perfect.
join.
Yes, please.
I'll go join them for a second.
Hi, could you guys assign me to my breakout room? Sorry, I
Sorry,
forgot
one
to.
second.
I thought I had to leave.
Globe International team.
She has been assigned. Yeah.
Thanks. And
At the moment, I think we may be missing one participant from Globe
we
International.
have a coach in the main room for Glass Solutions. We can assign them to their.
Glass Solution coaches.
Oh, Glass Solutions is presenting first, actually, so they can stay within the main room.
All right. If we can just get confirmation once the judges are ready to come back, Christina, can you just let me know?
Sure. In the meantime, Jeff, would you be able to broadcast a message to everyone in the Zoom rooms? Just a reminder for all coaches to keep their cameras and mics off while in the breakout rooms. Thanks. Hey, Jeff, do I need to make you?
Yep. So what's gonna happen is I just need to solve something. I think it may be best to have someone else host.
Sure, you can transfer it to me. And before that, can you go to the judges room, breakout room
Yeah,
at the moment?
there are a few things I need to handle, so I think it may be best to have someone host the rest of the.
Sure, just hand it over to
finals.
me. I'll switch it over. Thanks.
If you can make me co-host before you
Yeah.
go, and I'll address those questions.
It says you're already co-host. You're good to go.
I need the ENGCOMM one.
Oh, okay. 1 second. All right, good to go. Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everyone who's watching the YouTube live at the moment. We apologize for the delay. We are running into a tech issue, but it should be resolved shortly, and we will move on to our final presentation rounds. Thank you. Hi, everyone. For those watching the YouTube live, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but we should be good to go, and we'll start with our first presentation.
You guys can share your screen as you're ready. I'm going to be your timekeeper. I have play cards I'm going to be putting up when you guys have 10, 5, and 1 minute left. Feel free to start whenever, and I'll start the timer.
Yeah, just give me 1 second there. Just trying to sort out the...
What just happened? I was just put into a room with some of the people.
We're starting the presentation now.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
And I presume everyone can see the PowerPoint.
I can, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Gloss Solutions, and welcome to the presentation of our vision for your company, Genetech. My name is Aoife, and these are my teammates, Scott, Alana, and Ben. At the very heart of Genetech's commitment to intelligence, operations, and security are 3 core goals: understand the everyday, improve the everyday, and protect the everyday. And what is more everyday than a slip, trip, or fall in the workplace? Alana will now take you through just how significant this problem really is.
65% of all workdays lost annually are attributable to slips, trips, and falls. This represents a shocking 95 million days per year. This is the equivalent of 365,000 Americans out of work for an entire year annually. The 3 areas we are going to focus on are the healthcare, warehouse, and construction industry. As Genetech already have partners in healthcare, we will initially focus on this sector, but will expand into the warehouse and construction industry soon after. These industries have huge potential savings to make from reducing slips, trips, and falls in the workplace. Workers in the healthcare industry, for example, have 90% more lost workday injuries due to slips, trips, and falls than any of the other private industries. This costs the healthcare industry an average of $35 million a week in direct costs, not to mention a loss in staff morale, cost of finding replacement staff, admin expenses, property damage, and so on. There are similar shocking statistics in the warehouse and construction industry. But aside from all these numbers and stats, what is the actual human cost from these preventable accidents?
Welcome to CHU Sainte-Justine, the largest mother and children's hospital in Canada. This thriving hospital has upwards of 19,000 inpatients yearly and employs over 5,000 healthcare workers. This hospital is constantly a crazy, busy environment with many people running around to ensure the children get the care that they deserve. Parents care nothing more in the world than their beloved children. But what happens when you have a busy environment and parents are only focused on one thing, and the healthcare workers are trying their utmost to assist these children? Trips, slips, and falls. Many, many children in desperate need of care are waiting as the hospital tries to find replacement staff. CHU Sainte-Justine is not happy with this situation, as hospitals are supposed to fix injuries, not create them. Welcome to our solution, a brand new, exciting module for Genetech Security Center, C'est Levé, or Stand Up. This module has the goal to solve the problem of preventable slips, trips, and falls in hospitals, construction sites, and in warehouses. Our solution relies on these 3 principles: detection, reduction, and prevention, which are the cornerstones when assessing risks in any environment. Detection will see the problem occurring and notify staff to assist in the situation, thus mitigating the damage that is done when someone falls. But why wait for someone to fall? We are also going to reduce the number of preventable falls through the use of AI software. But what is better than reduction? Prevention. Through data analytics software, we are going to reduce the number of incidents in a workplace, as Ben will now discuss.
The first part of our solution to protect workers is fall detection. We plan on utilizing Allgo's Vision's slip and fall detection software in our solution. When the system recognizes that someone has fallen, the location of the fall is immediately flagged on the main security center dashboard. The security official operating the security system can then follow the fallen person on camera and assess whether they need help or are uninjured. While the detection phase initially doesn't prevent employees or members of the public from falling, its direct integration into Genetech Security Center will result in a potentially far faster response time to an injury than without it. This will reduce any potential medical costs associated with an injury as it is dealt with in a fast and efficient way. Not only that, but for the community of people working on a Genetech monitored campus, they can go about their day safe in the knowledge that Genetech have their back. The second aspect of our solution is reduction. In order to reduce the number of potential trip hazards in public spaces, we propose Genetech develop and utilize a deep learning driven object recognition software. The software will be trained to recognize commonplace items within a particular setting and categorize them as safe, a minor hazard, or if the object is unrecognized or noticeably out of place, a major hazard. The person at the Genetech Security Center dashboard is alerted to the major hazards and can then make swift arrangements for them to be removed. This photo gives an example of the classification system. The two staff members in the hallway are recognized as not a hazard and highlighted in green, while the hospital trolley and wet floor sign in yellow are recognized objects, so they are merely noted as minor hazards and not reported. On the right-hand side, highlighted in red, we can see an unrecognized device outside a doorway, which has been flagged as a major trip hazard and will be reported to the security center. For objects and hazards that our AI software is not capable of recognizing, we plan on implementing a data analytics system which records the location of all slips, trips, and falls, even if they don't result in injury. By overlaying this recorded accident data with a heat map of the hospital floor plan showing traffic volume in a location, we can identify areas which present a high risk of someone falling. For example, looking at the floor plan heat map on the right-hand side of the screen, areas with dark pink coloring show high footfall, while green areas show places of lower footfall. The red X's show locations of slips, trips, and falls. It is clear that our software has detected 3 slips, trips, and falls just outside the doorway to a bathroom in the center of the map. As this area has low footfall, we can tell that this area has a very high rate of falls per person in the area. Because of this, an inspector was sent to inspect the area for the cause of falls. It was found that staff members were carrying water on their shoes out from the bathroom, creating a slippery area in the hallway. A new drying mat was installed in the bathroom, which resulted in a complete prevention of future slips in the hallway. But artificial intelligence software is really expensive, isn't it? Well, Genetech are big investors in development and future technology, reinvesting 32% of their revenue in R&D, and we believe these costs are well in line with our goals of improvement and development. Our software development costs and trial costs are outlined here, with the development of the AI software taking up the majority of costs at $400,000. Another important part of the development costs is the software integration, developing a new module and dashboard interface, similar to the other Genetech products that can easily be added to the existing Genetech Security Center. Our total initial investment is $805,000, which we believe is a worthwhile investment for Genetech. But what if everything doesn't go as planned? Well, we've thought of that. Alana is going to talk you through some of the risks to our proposal.
As with all new and innovative solutions, there are risks attached. We have identified personal data protection, cybersecurity, and a poor technology uptake as the top 3. We will ensure employees keep their privacy by using redacted images. We will combat the ever-increasing cybersecurity risks by ensuring privacy by design is fundamental in the new software development. And in the possible solution where the technology is poorly accepted, we will increase the marketing expense to highlight the unarguable benefits of se lever. And just exactly how are we going to implement all this? Well, starting the end of this month, the development of the new software will commence. This will involve continual improvement and modification of the software in partnership with an existing Genetech hospital. From July of this year, our initial trial will roll out in 3 partner hospitals. Genetech currently have healthcare solutions available, so the healthcare industry is the obvious place to start. And following success in the healthcare industry, we will move on to the warehouses in 2023, followed by the construction industry in 2025.
Remember CHU Santa Justine, our beloved mother and child hospital? They decided something needed to be done to reduce their workplace falls urgently. They decided it would be in their best interest to join the trial phase of Genetech's new module, C'est for fall detection and prevention. But with this, Genetech gave other modules to incentivize CUH Santa Justine for agreeing to be on this trial period. Already, the hospital are noticing the drastic decrease in falls occurring, which has given the hospital a new, safer environment for all of its staff, patients, and visitors. They are so grateful that they got to play a role in this new safety system that will become widespread across hospitals. Resource management is crucial for the success of a project. The key resources required for C'est will be development and maintenance labor, additional IP cameras for the location and testing, access to Olgo Vision SFT software, and additional server storage.
So how does our solution fit in with Genetech? Our security center, C'est adds another module to Genetech's existing portfolio. We envisage a healthcare solution similar to Genetech's CityGraph, creating a new centralized system for hospitals, HospiGraph. HospiGraph would collect and unify data from existing Genetech solutions, Omnicast, Synergies, AutoVu, radio frequency patient ID bracelets, and now the new C'est for fall detection and prevention, creating a potential offering that combines the best modules Genetech has available for the healthcare industry. Moving into our sales strategy for C'est we will begin by targeting clients who currently employ Genetech technology in their business, such as Lee Health Hospitals and HID Global Warehouses. We envisage step 2 as a two-pronged strategy, beginning with key partnerships with the local resellers who will represent Genetech daily in the sales field, and secondly, offering our product as a subscription model to reflect the current market trend towards software as a service. Lastly, we will give customers the option of 2 bundle packages, allowing potential upselling as well as the ability to appeal to clients with different budgets. So how will we market our solution? Our strategy includes promotional videos of our software in use, as well as online and in-person trade shows. A recent Genetech report revealed that they spend 40% of their time on the road interacting with partners and customers. This commitment to customer satisfaction is something which we absolutely want to extend into our solution and believe that it is key to ensuring a strong feedback loop between buyer and seller.
We can now detect and prevent 8 out of the top 10 slip, trip and fall hazards. For example, the improper use of floor mats and runners, tripping hazards and contaminants on floor. And aside from the obvious health and safety benefits, there are huge potential financial savings. Using figures from the NSC for the number of injuries and fatalities from slips, trips and falls annually, and factoring the average cost per claim of each injury or death, we calculated the total that slips, trips and falls cost each industry per year. Taking a value of 46% of these to be preventable and dividing by the number of hospitals, we figured the total annual savings available per hospital from our solution to be $146,000. A similar approach was taken to find the savings available per workhouse or construction company.
As I mentioned earlier, we envisage Genetech selling this product with 2 bundling options in line with their current offers for Genetech Assurance and Genetech Advantage. We have listed the monthly prices as a range, as the exact figure will be negotiated on a case-by-case basis. Moving into the revenue forecast, you can see that, as Alana mentioned, we are beginning with a trial of 3 hospitals before moving into a total of 8 hospitals in year 1. This figure then grows on a year-on-year basis with the goal of having our solution implemented in 300 hospitals by year 5. As per our implementation timeline, we will target the warehouse industry by year 3 and the construction industry by year 4. The annual subscription figure used is based on a monthly cost of $2,500 per hospital and $1,500 per warehouse or construction company. This gives us the total forecasted revenue, which you can see across the bottom line. Given that Genetech invests approximately 32% of their revenue back into R&D and 8% as a fixed maintenance expense, Our approximate net profit for each year will be the remaining 60% of these revenue figures.
It is essential that every project hits every single criteria. Within projects, they need to hit at least some sustainability development goals. And within these, we are hitting goals 3, 16, and 9. CHU Santa Justine is the first crucial player for our product, but we will be expanding to warehouses, construction sites. And there's many of these all over North America, which we plan to utilize in the future.
So what exactly are we proposing? A new market for Genetech in which they already have the skill set and knowledge to enter, that uses cutting-edge IT to detect and prevent falls, that seamlessly integrates with Genetech's existing portfolio of products, that guarantees long-term revenues based on the cost savings that our solution brings to clients, and establishes Genetech not just as a safety company, but as a safety leader. I would like to thank you all so much for listening, and we welcome any questions that you may have.
Now the Q&A period will begin.
Thank you very much for the very engaging presentation. Maybe I'll start with a quick question. What hardware are you going to use, and how do you know that your design is actually going to work in detecting the objects, for example?
So in terms of hardware, we're initially targeting current Genetech customers. So they would already have Genetech hardware installed within their facilities. So we believe that the current hardware would then be applicable to our new design. Additional IP cameras may need to be installed. However, the initial infrastructure that's already in place, we believe would be enough for our solution to be implemented on that. And then, sorry, could you just repeat the second half of the question?
So how do you know that your model is going to successfully detect the objects and successfully prevent hazards?
So object recognition is a big development in AI, and it is implemented in other scenarios. For instance, a partner company which we mentioned earlier, who we would be using their slip and fall detection. They already do object recognition for cars and number plates. So we would be developing a similar thing just for different objects.
Perfect, thank you.
I'll go next. Since you're talking about object recognition and machine learning, in your development timeline, I think you assigned 1 year for the development, right, of the software. Is that a standard? Is that enough time for the machine learning to understand and develop this algorithm? Have you done research?
Yeah, so ultimately what happens is it will definitely take longer for it to be up to the complete perfect professional standard. We agree with that. But the idea of doing the trial and then integrating into more hospitals is because a lot of these deep learning require a lot of images and experiences in order to get better. For example, with Tesla, for example, their full self-driving with their deep learning, they have endless cars on the road and the software still doesn't work. So we're planning on over time developing the software still.
Mm-hmm. And if I may, another question. I saw that you assigned about 400,000 for the specific. I don't know if you can go back to your to that slide. What went into the pricing of the AI solution? Like any costing of the AI solution? How did you calculate the 400,000?
Yes, so brilliant question. So we are planning on using the convolutional neural networks, where that's the system that I viewed a presentation by Dr. Hinton, who presented at the AAAI 2020 keynote speech. And at that, he talked specifically about image recognition, and he suggested that that would be really useful for that. Now, in terms of pricing for that, that's a brilliant question. It's very difficult to get an exact number for deep learning because it can be very successful or it could take a lot longer than anticipated. So we read a research paper by Dr. Khan called Deep Convolutional Neural Network Architectures. And from that, he estimated that a project of this size could cost between 150 and 300,000 initially. But then ultimately we took a value of 400,000 just to give ourselves a little bit more leeway on that number.
Thank you.
So I have a few questions. So firstly, are you guys actually calling in from Ireland right now?
We're not
We're
allowed
not.
to answer that, unfortunately, due to competition rules.
Yeah, we're not going to say where we are.
All right, fair enough. Well, if you were hypothetically calling in from Ireland, then God bless you, because it's very late at night there. So, but we're not going to then. But I won't ask the question specifically then. So the actual question then is, I was wondering if you guys could go back to your financials, because I was a little confused with. So you were charging $805,000 for the, or was it 805 or $405,000 for the initial startup cost for this thing, but then you were looking at a cost savings and injury, so $805,000. You had an annual sort of service fee of, what was it, $30,000 a year? Yeah. And then you were looking at a savings per hospital of somewhere in the realm of $50,000 a year, right? Is that fair? You had 47.
The hospital figure is actually the 146.
146.
It's slightly bigger for hospitals due to the greater number of falls, and then cheaper for the warehouses and construction. And this is the main reason why it's 30,000 a year for hospitals and 15,000 for the two other industries.
Okay, so then I'll ask you, just then it's a quick math question. If I'm this chief administrator of a hospital, what is the break-even analysis on this? How long is it going to take me to make the money back in savings and work efficiency that I'm losing with the initial, purchase of this thing, and then the annual upkeep cost? Because if I take away you add 146 grand in savings, take away the 30K, brings you to like 116, and then the net present value. I mean, what's the math on that?
So initially the saving of 116 would be the goal. However, like Scott explained, that number is assuming that we initially prevent all the falls, which won't happen at the start. During the trial, it'll be slightly lower than that. So by year 4 and 5, we would expect the full savings a year to be 116,000. And also, although we are charging 30,000 at the moment, if this becomes profitable and we actually think we can make it at an even cheaper cost, that we could sell it at a cheaper price, which would lead to even bigger savings in the hospitals. But for the first few years, we envisage a saving of approximately 80 to 90,000 a year, and then eventually getting up to the full 116,000 a year figure.
So when I look at the net present value of $805,000, and then all those savings over the course of, so we're looking at a break-even analysis here of probably around, what, 10 years?
For Genetech as a company?
No, for me as a potential client, as the hospital, I'm going to have to, it would take 10 years for me to make back the money that I'm saving. I'm just
so sorry, the 805,000, I'm not sure if it was clear, is actually our initial funding cost.
Oh, your initial funding. All right, fair enough. Sorry.
It's only what we're charging is only the subscription model, and that incorporates the full cost. So the 805 is for the full AI solution. That won't be charged per hospital at all. That's just the initial funding required and how we're sourcing them funds. So the subscription model of 30,000 a year is actually the full cost. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent. No. That was I probably wasn't paying attention. Okay, well done. Okay, then that answers my question perfectly. Thank you.
I go next if you don't mind. Hi again, and it's nice to see you back here. I don't repeat my previous questions. I have a follow-up question on the deep learning part. Can you just please tell me again how many modules, how many recognition modules are you planning to implement? And what is the time frame for the implementation? Do you have like a pre-installation phase, like do you training, before the installation, or is it included in the timeline? What is the plan for year 1?
So I'll just hop over to the implementation timeline for you there. Sorry, there's a few slides in the way here.
It's slide 14, Scott.
Slide 14, fantastic, Ben. That's not slide 14. Sorry, bear with me a second there. Perfect, wonderful. Yeah, so within this here, we have the initial development there is for the trial period on the left-hand side there on the top left. So that's assuming roughly a year of just development in itself. So that's to make sure that we have the program coded, like that end of things. And then the hospital trial also beginning, because we need to be able to take images in during that initial development phase. But then from that, there will be more development and the training will occur well past that point. It could take several years, and it just depends on how effectively the program learns.
And what is the plan? Is it going to be installed in one site or multiple sites for the training, for the initial phase?
Yeah, so for the very first part of the phase, it's in one hospital, which is the first hospital we'll be in. And then we're looking to go branch out to 3 more of the hospitals. And from that, they all already have Genetech equipment within their facilities. And that greatly benefits us because we can get images without actually having to go in and install more hardware. So it is just a software end of it. So, and then that's why in the next year after, we're planning to go to 8, because we need to get the images so that we can more efficiently train our devices.
Thank you.
I have a question, actually. I do want to say great job. Your delivery was fantastic. So you mentioned AlgoVision. There's quite a few video analytic solutions on the market. What made you go with AlgoVision in particular?
So we noticed that Genetech has been a partner with, has partnered with AlgoVision in the past. So we chose them as the software they had suited our needs, and they had been a past partner. So we believe that they would want to go forward and work with Genetech as they already have in the past.
And just to add to that, the AlgoVision is actually currently on the Genetech partner program, known as the Genetech Technology Partner Program, whereby it's a deal between the 2 companies that AlgoVision get access to Genetech R&D in return for AlgoVision providing this hardware. So it works well on the financial end for us, as well as this partnership is a straight deal between the 2 companies.
Perfect, thanks.
I just wanted to say great job. I don't have any questions in case you're waiting on us to ask. I don't have any questions.
Perfect. So if there aren't any other questions, Glass Solutions, you may go back to your breakout room. Chanel will join you there. As for the judges, you may go back to your room for deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Is this our room here, Shobnit, or are we supposed to go back somewhere?
You're supposed to go back to your deliberation room.
Oh, okay. And how does one do that?
So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a
Oh,
breakout
breakout
rooms
room.
button, and
Okay.
I'll send you back.
Oh, join breakout room. Brilliant. Thank you.
No worries.
Could you put me in the Glass Solutions breakout room, please?
Yep.
Hi team, I'm going to be your timekeeper. I'm going to show you guys placards as you go. You're going to have a 5, 10, 1 minute warning. Feel free to share your screen when you're ready, and I will begin the time once you start.
Thank you.
Ready when you are, or Mike, sorry.
Okay. Hello, we are Glass Logic, and today we believe we can provide you, Genetech, with the best and most innovative security solution for 2022. Firstly, we want to assure you that we believe in maintaining your core values with our recommendations. Our solution repurposes one of your current security systems. The team will take you through the solution, the cost, and opportunities, along with how this new solution will work with our other Genetech products and the benefits for our B2B consumers. My name is Meg, and I want you to prepare yourself for the best solution you'll hear today, and maybe brace yourself for a difficult topic that we touch on. The objective of our solution is to improve school security systems. We will do this by making use of new and future technologies while keeping the costs suitable for schools to avail of. So let me take you through a day in the life of a student called Emily. Imagine Emily as your friend, daughter, or grandchild. It's a Friday, Emily is getting ready for school as normal. She gets to school and meets her friends, when suddenly John, a boy in her class who lately has been acting withdrawn, stands up and points a gun. Emily, who once had hopes and dreams, is now left hopeless, fearing for her life, while her loved ones who cherish her at home remain oblivious to what is happening. The question of how John was able to get onto school grounds with such a dangerous weapon in the first place is the question that is on everyone's mind. School shootings have cast a dark shadow over a place intended to be a safe, enriching environment for children. Our first question was, what exactly are the limitations of the current system that failed Emily and the other students? Well, metal detectors are often found in schools that have been affected by shootings or other acts of violence. We noted that metal detectors are likely to create false alarms. They're costly, and not to mention they're very unwelcoming and can be invasive to students. They also serve as a constant reminder to children of the potential unsafe and violent environment that surrounds them. The surveillance cameras don't provide detailed information and cannot detect hidden weapons or detect potential targets. I'll pass you on to Orla, who will go further into this issue and tell you what our solution to this problem is.
Genetech currently offers an educational security center package. The recommended 3 main features for schools are Security Center Omnicast, which includes surveillance and video analytics, AutoView, which is license plate recognition, and finally Synergis, which includes access cards and visitor management. There are multiple examples of schools in the US who are currently making use of this system already. Our solution is an upgraded Genetech Security Center. We propose integrating 2 new softwares into the existing Security Center. This includes partnering with Athena to make use of their thermal imaging and gun detection software, as well as developing a new Genetech software, Security Center Emotoscan. I'll now pass you on to Alex to give you the details of this upgraded capability.
Thermal imaging has been used to spot unusual objects through temperature differentials for at least 56 years. Thermal cameras see in the far infrared wavelengths, working from the principle that warmer objects emit more infrared radiation than colder ones. This principle can be used to detect a cold metal object, such as a weapon, which an AI would recognize as such. Athena's AI currently recognizes over 900 different types of firearms. Here is a practical demonstration of the Athena concealed weapons detection system in action. On the right, you can see the input feed from a thermal imaging camera. This is then taken by Athena's AI, whereby it will notice the unusual signature of the person entering and recognize the concealed weapon which he is carrying in under 3 seconds. The AI will then alert authorities and can take further action. This system uses a pair of 384 pixel cameras to scan the front and back of a person. As you have seen, it does not invade personal privacy and is far less intrusive than a pat-down search. It is also independent of ambient lighting and can be tailored to varying climates. The early built system is not foolproof though, currently requiring the subject to come to a full halt, and works best if no thick layers of clothing are worn. As well as using thermal cameras, we propose using existing Genetech Omnicast camera system to implement another new technology. Our other AI-driven innovative solution, Emotiscan, is facial recognition software which can interpret your emotions and remember your ambient state of happiness. If the AI thinks a student is going through a rough time, it can suggest that a counselor intervenes and talks to them so no one is left behind. The AI can also be trained to read body language and alert suspicious behavior. Emotion detection technology thus has great potential for recognizing any disruptive emotion and warning others of potential dangers, said Professor Kim from Inchin National University. He's an expert currently conducting research in the field. There are various benefits from the widespread implementation of Emotiscan. It is a near impossible task for educational staff alone to keep track of all students and their emotional development. This will be beneficial for youths, many of whom will no longer have their troubles go unnoticed, leading to better emotional development. Emotiscan will take a lot of strain off school staff who have a very stressful and daunting task already. The AI that is at the backbone of both of these systems is no long-term fantasy goal. AI works by running vast quantities of data through a machine learning algorithm. This data is taken from the Omnicast or Athena recordings and through Genetech's privacy-oriented Kiwi Vision protected cloud storage and incorporate the school's existing student records. This AI can then work autonomously or with supervision to take control of synergist-controlled doorways or simply alert security and counseling staff. The combined implementation of both these systems will drive a cycle of safer schools, which will lead to better attendance and promote increased productivity in students. We believe the cycle of positivity is in line with 6 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, in particular 3, 4, 8, 9, 11, and 16. We're also in line with Genetech's 5 core values, mainly delivering quality products, innovating with cutting-edge information technology, and improving quality of life through Genetech's corporate social responsibilities. Orla will now take you through the costing and implementation.
Here are some example prices of Genetech Security Centre educational packages. Schools can choose to integrate whichever software they feel their school needs, making the solution customizable to individual cases. The first table shows the estimated cost of installing Security Centre and Athena in the average school. The second table shows the cost of adding Athena to a school with an existing Genetech security system. And the last table shows the cost of upgrading to include Emotiscan. I will now bring you through the implementation over 10 years. In year 1, we suggest partnering with Athena and beginning a trial phase in the Hilton Central School District, who already use Genetech. In year 2, this will expand to 10 more schools in North America who are Genetech customers. And in year 3, Athena's thermal imaging gun detection software will be brought to market. Also in year 3, research and development into the Emotiscan technology will begin, and we anticipate that this will take 3 years to develop and test. In year 6, it is estimated that Emotiscan will be ready to roll out. For the next 5 years, Genetech will then turn their attention to other areas where both Athena and Emotiscan can be implemented, such as universities, hospitals, correctional facilities, and police departments. There are, of course, a number of risks associated with this new project. Firstly, the artificial intelligence will need a large amount of data and time in order to be effective. Long trialing periods will ensure that the AI has sufficient data to make informed decisions. Large amounts of this type of data will introduce privacy issues. Genetech already make use of a privacy software such as Kiwi Vision Privacy Protector. We are confident that students will be protected using software such as this. Another factor is reliability, with risks of false alarms and cameras not detecting all weapons. Trialing periods will allow for any potential problems to be identified and then be dealt with. Further improvements will be made to the reliability of the Athena software. Currently, for best efficacy, students have to stop at the door in order for the camera to take the best image. While this can be improved, we still estimate that the time taken for the student to scan their access card will be enough time to complete the scan. Another potential risk is that students will not be able to afford the software. However, grants are available for schools who do not have a sufficient budget. For deployment, on-premise deployment will be used. The software will be installed on-site using either existing cameras and other infrastructure or purchasing new hardware. IT support will be provided locally by system integrators, and we believe this solution will be best for schools to give them more control. The upgraded Genetech security system will make use of hybrid licensing. A perpetual license will be purchased for the Emotiscan package. The customers will pay for additional upgrades and updates on a yearly basis. And Athena software will be a third-party license paid upfront and followed by yearly updates. The income and expenditure over the first 10 years are shown in this table. The total revenue is based on the sale of perpetual licenses and yearly upgrades. assuming that sales start for Athena's thermal license in year 3 and Emoduscan's sales start in year 5. The total expenditure includes the research and development of Emoduscan, Athena development and licensing costs, and also marketing and promotion campaigns. We are estimating a profit of just under 20 million Canadian dollars by year 10, and this is expected to grow into the next 10 years. I'll now hand you over to Rasha to bring you through our market research.
We conducted market research and we were shocked by the gravity of just how devastating the data is. Did you know that on average for every week of 2018, there's been a shooting that has either killed or injured someone at school in the United States? There have been over 1,315 school shootings since 1970, and it's been increasing at an alarming rate. Each year, over 15,000 children are shot or injured. An estimated 3 million children are exposed to violent shootings every year. The threat of violence looms over all children, no matter where they live or what their family situation is. We need to keep our perspective and make rational preventative measures. I do not need to remind you that a school is meant to be a place of learning, of happiness, and most of all, safety. We believe that our solution strikes the right balance between security and allowing children to live their lives. The main strength of the system is that it will act as a means of security and decrease the amount of school shootings through Athena and Emoduscan. A weakness is that this could require more cameras depending on the size of the school and the amount of entrances and exit points. For the opportunities, the AI and thermal cameras is a new combination being applied to a new market. This development could improve the brand's reputation alongside having the potential opportunity to apply it to new markets such as hospitals. The threat is that despite the more accurate system, there's still a chance of false alarms and misdetections, which could be disruptive in a school environment. The TAM is 57,000, which consists of middle schools, high schools, and universities in North America. In terms of our SAM, we've decided to target the schools with the highest rate of school shootings, which has given us over 19,000. For our SAM, we chose 25% of the SAM, which has given us under 5,000 schools. Here's a list of USPs. There's AI being used in a new way to a new market. Also, it provides optimal performance and there's greater effectiveness. There are considerably lower maintenance fees alongside happier, safer environment for the end consumer. Orla touched on this earlier, but just to reiterate how the solution works in conjunction with Genetech's other products. We are using Security Center, Genetech's flagship product, and we are seamlessly incorporating our solution of Athena and Emoduscan with the Security Center for a completely unified solution. For our customer profile, we are targeting security companies who are third-party resellers and distributors for Genetech. They are based in North America and they're specializing in safeguarding education institutions, ideally providing the following: manned guarding, alarm response, installation of cameras, access control, and remote monitoring. An example would be Allied Universal. So the idea stemmed from focusing on the needs of the end consumer. We wanted to create something that would truly make a difference and rid schools of the harsh, tedious reminders that metal detectors bring. The end consumer wishes to increase overall safety ratings of schools, deter students from committing crimes. It'll act as a means of prevention to confiscate weapons before they can be used and provide us evidence if needs be. We're creating a system which will bring about happier and safer environment to give peace of mind for both parents and students alike. I'll now pass you on to Meg.
The benefits to the needs of the reseller are how it adds a layer of protection to physical security operations. It's a means of new access control solutions to manage visitors, and it improves efficiency and reduces the total cost of ownership with hosted and managed technology services. The resellers are also given a competitive advantage by purchasing from Genetech, as they now can offer their consumers an improved and more advanced system with the Athena thermal camera and Emoduscan. We've identified an upselling opportunity. After the initial phase of implementation, we plan on taking this technological development and applying it to a new target market, for example, hospitals and detention centres. We plan on attending security-based conferences and exhibitions and showcasing the technology and its benefits. Both the Athena and Emoduscan license will generate recurring revenue through updates and upgrades every year. This is an estimation of the ongoing support revenue opportunities that they can offer. So let's look at an alternative ending to Emily's story. A student, John, who has been feeling sad, angry, and distant towards his friends. Well, these emotions play a part in why he decides to bring a dangerous weapon to school. Luckily, John's school is ahead of the game and has implemented Genetech's security system onto their premises. As John walks through the school entrance, The cameras detect the gun in his bag and the emotions written on his face. John is immediately stopped upon entering and his weapon confiscated. Students' lives are saved, including his own. If we can provide a more effective way to prevent potential shootings or acts of violence and save even one life with our proposed security system, then we have succeeded. Our children's safety and privacy is everyone's top priority. Thank you.
Very good. Now the 15-minute Q&A will begin.
I'll go first. First off, congrats again. This can be a touchy subject, so you guys did a good job kind of putting that together. I guess my question is, due to the nature of anything relating around facial recognition and people wanting to keep their privacy, how are you gonna kind of venture through that, those issues?
So one of the main products that we came across is one that Genetech uses themselves, which is Kiwi Vision Privacy Protector. So this works by pixelating and masking the people's faces to make them unrecognizable despite comprehensive video surveillance. So the original video stream is recorded and encrypted, and it's available then for investigation, and access is secured by authentication procedures in which 2 employees need to be there and they need to both implement a PIN number. So we would imagine that something similar can be used in this case to protect students' data and their faces, and that no one outside of the school will be able to see the children's faces.
Alexander, did you want to add anything?
No, I believe my colleague covered everything that I was going to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go next. Thank you for the presentation. I have to say the storytelling was compelling, as was the subject. You mentioned briefly in your presentation that your offering could be extended to hospitals. Have you thought about other industries that you could extend your offer to in the future?
Yes, we've also thought about implementing it in detention centers, and that's another viable avenue for the project. Yeah.
Police stations.
Yeah, police stations, yeah, any kind of, yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Great presentation, like everyone has said. I do have a couple of questions, but I'm going to center it around one. So you have said that you're going to implement these solutions in other places, but how is this application or this software in conjunction with the encryption supposed to differentiate between a student who is bringing a weapon or, a police officer in the station who is supposed to carry a weapon and people who are just walking in with a weapon? And then, if you're installing that in the school, they're hitting entrances. How many cameras do you want to install, or are you planning to have everyone come into the school and leave through one single entrance?
We did consider this as part of our implementation, and Athena's current system uses 2 cameras. So one essentially to scan the front and one to scan the back of the person. And this of course is going to vary from school to school, because some schools have multiple entrances, whereas some schools have only 1 or 2, a small number. So it depends on the unique environment of the school, which is part of why Genetech is such a good implementer of this system, because they already carry a lot of research and they are quite flexible with their approach. To answer the other part of your question, so most schools already have a database of their students. So for example, if a student is coming in, he will be recognized by the face recognition software, as well as while he's scanning him or herself into school. And if someone as your example, a police officer is entering, he would be warned in advance that he is entering and he has permission to enter with a weapon, and the AI would not trigger an alarm or lock the entrance in front of him or her.
I might add to that in terms of being in a police station as well. Genetech synergies would also be implemented if the Genetech Security Center was being utilized. So they would have their own ID cards, and that would be able to identify them as someone who is allowed to carry a gun. So I think that would solve that solution then.
Thank you.
I go next. Hi guys, nice to see you back again. I have a question regarding the software part. I would like to have some sort of detailed information. What kind of software are you planning to implement? How the cost of the software were calculated? I'm asking about the functionalities of the software, if they're implemented in one single software or multiple, and how you're planning to implement that. And then I have a follow-up question on the cloud part.
Could you please elaborate a bit by the software? Do you mean
you mentioned about facial detection. You mentioned about facial face emotion detection, thermal cameras. You mentioned a lot of things in the solution. So I would like to see what type of software are you planning to implement, and how the implementation plan is.
So the thermal camera system that is used by Athena, it's already had significant development in, and as you saw in the demonstration video, it can already recognize it. It works by taking the thermal feed, and it has been taught essentially to recognize the shape, depending on its orientation, size, and proportions, to be a firearm or a weapon of a different description. The facial recognition software works a little bit differently. It is trained to recognize facial expressions and can use this information recorded from the Omnicast system to determine how a person is feeling and if they may or may not have any negative emotions. And of course, the system also can be trained to detect and understand different types of body languages, which can actually often be more useful in determining a person's intentions over their facial expressions.
So my question is are you going to use some existing software solutions, or is it something that's going to be implemented? That was my question.
Genetech has the AutoView system, which uses data inputted from cameras to recognize number plates. So it is possible that they could adapt and modify and grow this system, or they could work with other industry leaders such as Dr. Kim from Incheon University to come up with a new, perhaps more efficient or more effective system.
Okay, thank you. And my follow-up question on the cloud, what exactly is going to be implemented on the cloud? Is it used as as some sort of storage, or the processing is going to be done on the cloud?
So that would depend on a case-by-case basis, as cloud computing does depend on the speed and power of, say, a specific school's internet connection. So a rural school would most likely simply store their data and then have it processed onto the cloud to share and help with the processing of it. Whereas an urban school, which may have a better internet connection, may decide to have their processing done on the cloud. And the benefit of the cloud is, of course, that once a lot of schools are using the system, the data between them can be shared to help feed AI more information, to help it learn and grow and become more effective over time.
While protecting the privacy of the students, of course, yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I have a couple of questions. So I mean, from a business model perspective, I'm not a tech guy, so I'm not going to question your how you're doing it in the cloud and all that sort of stuff. I'm just going to assume that you know, magic goblins make sure it all works. But from a business model, I see this like as super high risk and super low reward, in the sense that the cost of failure of a system like this is enormous, and the benefits of success, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to hear a little bit more about you know, getting into an industry like this, where your technology or the effectiveness of your technology has literally like life or death consequences. And the second part of that question is also about, you know, gaming the system, in the sense that if you install your system in a school that has 5 entrances, the students are going to know. So if you have somebody that is, and a lot of these kids that do these mass shootings, like they know what they're doing, in the sense that they don't, you know, wake up in class and say, you know, I think I want to go on a shooting spree. Typically, these are premeditated events. So if you're looking at somebody who is engaging in a premeditated activity, that is going to be aware of your systems within their schools. Combine that with the potential failure of that technology. It just, like, I'm trying to frame this as a question, but I'm really trying to wrap my head around the business model. And, you know, I've kind of shared some of these concerns, these broader concerns that I'm sure you guys have thought of. So like what, you know, given all of these risks to the company's reputation, and the different ways that a human being can, who has a premeditated intent to kill, can get around these technologies, why would you still want to pursue this as a business venture?
Well, I mean, Genetech are already within the education industry. They already provide security for them. So we believe this security that we're offering is far more effective than what's there at the moment. I mean, why not give that a chance? I mean, we're going to have to progress eventually as the years go on. And as you can see, this is already becoming outdated. And we do think that this is more effective, what we're providing.
If I may add to what my colleague is saying, I mean, I can fairly safely say we are all unanimous in the agreement that there is no cost to a human life, especially to a child's life. So in terms of a business risk, that is why we are proposing to proceed cautiously and to take the necessary time to make sure that the system can grow and be implemented properly, to make sure that it's going to be at its most effective, because that was very true what you said, is that it is high risk in that situation from a company's reputation. However, kind of going off what my colleague was saying, that Genetech already provide a level of security to a lot of schools, and this would be improving that level of security that's being provided.
So I would only suggest, you know, when you say you can't put a price on a human life, I would agree, and I think everybody in this chat would agree. But if we look at legislation in the United States, for example, and how schools are funded, and how security in schools are funded in order to mitigate things like this, I think we can very easily put a price on a human life, because that's exactly what the states are doing, and the provinces in Canada as well. Because all you have to do is look at what they're investing in security. We won't get into the Second Amendment debate because that's a whole other thing. But you know, I think that it's a bit of a facile argument to say that you can't put a cost on a human life when clearly legislatively this is already being done.
I think in terms of just some figures, we have estimated that upfront to have a metal detector, it would cost approximately $15,000 in the first year, including the staff who has to man the machine. So after this, it would be the salary of a worker every year. So for our solution with the most upgraded capability, we're estimating it at just over 100 grand as upfront costs, and we estimate that it'll only be between $3,000 to maybe $5,000 a year after that to keep upgrading the security softwares. So in this case, we're eliminating the cost of staff and of maintenance, and we really do think in the long term that this solution will be a more cost-effective solution for schools, which would mean then that more schools might take us up on investing in this solution.
And I apologize, I don't want to monopolize this. I just have one last little piece. So on that, okay, you guys are identifying, your technology identifies the risk, right? But then there's the second and third thing that needs to happen after that, right? The intervention to be able to, with that student, to remove that weapon. And that's not a service you're providing. That's a service that remains internal to the school or whatever their security protocols are for that. So again, I think it's a risky business model, because the success of your technology is not only predicated on the accuracy of the AI you're using, but also on the aptitude, skills, and speed of intervention of the security guard getting paid $14 an hour working at that school.
So I might just add that the Synergist Control Center, which has access to the doors and locks the doors, so the student has to scan in to get into the school. So the thermal imaging or the motor scan will, like thermal imaging especially, will detect the gun before the student can even scan. So that 3-second interval should be enough to stop the student actually entering the building with their firearm, which keeps them a lot safer from the majority of students who will be inside the building.
And also, who we want to sell it to are like security companies who are safeguarding education. That's what they specialize in, and they often provide like services like manned guarding and alarm response. So we're targeting them. That's who we're selling this to. So that will take place in the school if they're the ones running it. So they like Allied Universal, that would be like our ideal customer, as they're going to deliver and safeguard and provide security resources for any type of K-12 school.
As well as what my colleague has said, partially Multiscan software is going to be used to monitor all students, and it can over time begin predicting which students might be the most likely, giving the school a chance to intervene before it goes too far to those unspeakable events.
And that's going to conclude our Q&A period. Thank you to the team. We're going to go on to the deliberation now. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much. Thanks for your
Very
time.
much. Thank you.
So well done, Glass Logic. Now you may go back to your breakout room, and Luca is going to be joining you there.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, so for everybody that's watching these presentations live, the judges are done deliberating, they'll be taking a break, and the next presentations will resume at 6:38 p.m. in Eastern Time.
Hi team, appreciate it. I'm gonna be your timekeeper. I have play cards here, package. I'm gonna be giving you guys 10, 5, 1 minute warning. Feel free to start sharing your screen and I'll start the timer once you guys start.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Directors for Genetech. My name is Colton, and with my colleagues today is Greg, Fat, and Tom. This is our presentation for our solution to your long-term growth in the next 5 to 10 years. To start off with, I want you to meet Ryan and Sarah. Now, Ryan is a customer. He often feels ignored by employees and is having a hard time finding what he's looking for in the store while shopping. Sarah, on the other hand, is a retail manager. She's struggling to be competitive with online retailers, and managing a large number of employees is proven to be a lot more difficult. This is how we've come up with our problem. Genetech faces the challenge of creating a new product or service to improve their growth outlook for the next 5 to 10 years. A quick overview of our presentation. Our opportunity is to advance the retail environment in response to online shopping. In evaluating our decision and our solution, we use the criteria: deliver quality, be innovative, uphold corporate responsibility, and ensure ethics and integrity are top of mind. Our solution, a consumer tracking technology that helps employees find the consumers that need help. I've completed a SOAR analysis, but I'm only going to focus on 2 of the sections here: opportunities and aspirations. Now, Genetech is a wide range company and have reaches in many different areas. So product exploration in retail and consumer trends is something that's very possible. For aspirations, we want to look at the long-term possibilities in retail environments and continue to expand analytics around consumer trends and employee efficiency. This is going to help you help your customers meet the needs of their customers. Critical insight from this: Genetech is a forward-thinking, innovative organization and can make an impact in many different industries. Now, I'm sure you've all been to one of these stores before: Walmart, Superstore, Costco. But did you know that the average lifetime customer value is $177,000? This is something that any organization would be foolish to want to lose. This brings us to a question that I'm sure we would all love to hear. When you're at the store, you can't seem to find something, how can I help? Which brings us to our recommendation: Customer Connect. We're going to elaborate on this now.
So to deliver our solution, we split our project into 2 phases. Phase 1 is the process of integrating the AI technology. For those of you that have not heard of AI, AI stands for Artificial Intelligence. So this phase would help employee in locating customers who potentially require assistance. It also improves search and manage of inventory. The goal of this phase is to improve the overall process efficiency and customer experience. It also provides Genotech an alternative income source during our product development process. The resource that we will need are software developers and security camera. So this would be the screen on the employee handheld device. So it will have the employee name, number, and time at the top. It also includes an option to call for help in case him or her could not answer the customer questions. Now we'll go to the location button. So this would give us the floor map. So it shows us where the shopper and nearby employee are. So we'll hit back to return to the main screen. Oh, there's an alert. A customer needs our help. So we will need to click on this alert, which will bring us back to the floor map. And now customers who have been pacing around the same aisle for a long period of time are now shown in red, which indicate that they might need our assistance. Only employees that are closest to the customer will receive this alert. So now we will walk toward our customer and hit back while we get there. Now that we talked to our customer, we found out that they want to search for a product. So we hit on the search button, which brings us to this interface that have the search bar as well as all of the most recently searched items below. Now that we found out that our customer wanted to look for a toothbrush, so we enter toothbrush into the search bar, and it gives us all the toothbrush available at the store, as well as the cost, the brand, the IO number, as well as the inventory left in stock. So to achieve this phase, we will integrate live security camera footage into the AI system, which then track the movement and sensor for shopper location. We would integrate inventory management system, as well as create a user manual for store to train their employees. This gives us our key performance indicators in improved customer experience and improved process efficiency. For phase 1, we estimate that it would take around 2 years to develop. This gives us our critical insight of the integrated AI system will provide better customer experience and improve the process efficiency.
The second phase of our solution is called AI system learning. In this phase, we use the AI program to detect the behavior of the customer by analyzing their body movement. By doing so, we hope that we can assist the customer on time, as well as preventing any potential criminal activity from happening, especially shoplifting. The resources that are required for this phase are software developer and all security camera footage. So the first step of this phase is that our software team will create our own body movement tracking technology and integrate that technology into the AI program. Then we teach the AI program how to recognize suspicious abnormal behavior by using all security camera footage. When all said and done on the daily basis, the real-time camera footage will be sent to the AI program for to detect the customer behavior by analyzing their body movement, as can be seen on step number 3. So in case there are abnormal, suspicious behavior from the customer, what will the AI program do? We'll figure out in the next example. So here is the interface of the app that we already developed in phase number 1. Mr. Glenn Sturgis here is the general manager of Real Canadian Superstore. On one afternoon, he received an alert from the AI program saying that there is a customer that needs special attention because he or she is having suspicious or abnormal behavior. The manager will then click on the live camera button. It will allow him or she to access the real-time camera footage and recognize the face of that special customer. Then he will click on the location button, and this will allow the manager to know the exact location of that special customer. And in this case, there's the yellow dot appear on the bottom left of the screen. So this is a summary of what will be done in phase number 2. So again, we will create our own body movement tracking technology, integrate that into our AI program. And we also teach our AI program how to recognize suspicious abnormal behavior from the customer by using all security camera footage. When fully developed, the AI program will be used on the daily operations to detect the customer behavior by analyzing their body movement using the real-time footage from the security camera system. And if there are any suspicious or abnormal behavior from the customer, it will send an alert to the manager specifically so that he or she will take action immediately to resolve the problem. The key performance indicator that we hope to achieve through this phase are to improve the security of the store, the efficiency in the store operation, and to improve the satisfaction of the customer by providing them a safe and enjoyable shopping experience. This phase will take 5 years to complete. So in conclusion, creating our own body movement tracking technology and integrate that into the AI program will improve the overall security and optimize the customer shopping experience.
Excellent, thank you, God. So I want to give you a little bit of financial breakdown here. Over the course of the 5 years, we'll incur 1.29 million in project labor, product cost, and this is a 50.5 thousand. This is actually built from the ground up. So it includes 104 cameras and 12 tablets with software built in. Obviously, these can be adjusted by the client's needs. And if they already have the existing products in place, then that wouldn't be necessary. The selling price, therefore, would include materials needed, Genotech assurance, the warranty program, and includes a 30% markup at 67.5 thousand. Once again, I just want to stress that this is not the price all the time, and it would depend on each client. Here you can see that overall, we have a project ROI of 23% and a payback period of 3.34 years.
Our goal is for our solution to very closely match all the organizational fits that are necessary, especially in the retail sector. We do this under 3 headings: to protect people and assets, to increase overall operational intelligence, but also to enhance customer service. Our solution combines all the different products already offered by Genetech into one final solution that programs new AI software with the effect of having a much stronger understanding of customer needs as they walk through retail stores. Let's take a profile of a typical customer. Let's say Sarah, who's a retail manager. Sarah's having the issue of having too many employees to lead, having a difficult time predicting what customer needs are, and also having to constantly lose customers because they might not have a chance to find what they need in her store. Looking now at the customer's customer, let's say Ryan as an example. Ryan will walk into a store and not be able to find what he needs, and he'll be frustrated by this. He might also not have the chance to speak to an employee to find the proper inventory that he's looking for. Thus, our critical insight is that we want our customers to help their customers. This is going to result in increased profits and an increase in customer satisfaction. In terms of long-term opportunities, we are utilizing upselling opportunities. This can occur with programs that already exist by Genetech, such as the Advanced Consumer Intelligence and Collaborative Investigative Management programs. This will further enhance AI and will lead to better understanding of business needs by retail managers especially. Here we show an example of an interface. What this shows us is in real time, an easy way for anybody of any technological level to track both inventory, employee information, and customer information so that there are no customers that fall through the cracks. This allows people to understand where the customers are in the store and how best to suit their needs, just so that you don't lose customers due to not having the inventory there. Furthermore, we feel that maintenance revenues and support revenues will contribute to long-term growth as well. A few prominent examples include new camera installations for the maintenance reviews and also the Genetech Advantage package for the support revenues.
Now we want to jump into a bit of a long-term recommendation. Once the AI software is completely developed out at the end of the fifth year there, we have that consumer behavior tracking throughout the retail stores is a great idea. Why do we want to do this? It actually helps to improve product placement, ensure that the pricing models are correct, and generate data with a focus on consumer behavior for specific store values. The resources needed here: Genetech's advanced consumer intelligence software and the AI software to depict demographic, geographic, and psychographic information on consumers that we've discussed throughout this presentation. Here's a visual representation of our timeline. I just want to identify 2 of the key areas here. First, in the integrate AI technology, at the end of our 2nd year, we hope to have the developed tablet and app alert system finished. And then the second, under the AI system learning, at the end of our 5th year, this is where we'll have taught AI consumer behaviors and be able to move further into our long-term growth and long-term recommendations. We've covered 2 risks and mitigations here. The first, the employees struggle to adapt to the new technology. With this, mitigation of offering training programs for in-store associates would be set in place. And that can be worked on the individual store levels with the resellers. Number 1 is ranked fairly high on both the consequence and likelihood scale, as it would possess the most danger to the actual implementation. Second, we have risk of potential cybersecurity risks. Mitigation: establish a cybersecurity program with the customer and encourage them to purchase Genetech Advantage for further on-site monitoring. This is not as likely or have much of a consequence, but still on a radar. Now this brings us to our final question. How will this impact Ryan and Sarah? Well, Ryan is excited to have employees around when needed to make the shopping experience more enjoyable. Sarah, she now has more time to focus on bringing new business to the store and trust that her employees will be there to help. thus increasing their revenue. Both are finding their needs are met, making it easier to meet their own goals and objectives. In conclusion, our solution was a consumer tracking technology to help bring employees to the customers that need help. This resulted in two main impacts. One, improve customer satisfaction. Two, improve retail business revenue. Thank you for your time. We will now take any questions.
Now the 15-minute Q&A period will begin.
I have a quick question. How do you differentiate between staff and the customers?
So the employees would have the handheld device so that we can teach the AI to recognize that when someone holding the handheld device, that is an employee, and if you don't, it's a customer.
So it's by image processing then?
It's not by image processing. Colton, can you go to the appendix? So we're using a motion sensor camera. So it basically sends out a wave, and when the wave hits the customer, it's gonna bounce back. The slide before that. So when it hit the slide before that, Colton. Yep. So when it so each of the shop would have camera layers all around. So each camera cover an area. So we use active motion sensor detectors camera. So when the send out wave it hit the customer and it bounce back, it's going to show us a dot. So that's how we like differentiating.
So I have a question. You identified. My question is more centered on your sort of your clients and what you're offering them. At the beginning of the presentation, you showed some like Costco and Walmart and some of these sort of big box stores. Their business model is price leadership, right? You guys, how many business students are here? You guys know what I'm talking about when I say your business model is price leadership, right? Okay, so if your business model is price leadership and you guys have all been to Costco and Walmart, and good luck finding somebody to help you when you're there, well, that's part of the business model, right? You're not there to get a warm and fuzzy feeling from somebody there to help you. You're there because the stuff they sell is cheap. So I'm just wondering, how are you going to convince these large companies to adopt your technology and essentially change their business model from a price leadership model to an integrated cost leadership model? Because that's really what you're asking them to do, because you're asking them to prioritize service and service efficiency to the client in the context of a business model that they've had for 20, 30 years that's predicated on price leadership. How are you going to do that?
Absolutely, I can jump in on this question here. I think the best way of just defining this is within the recent past few years, the world of online retailers has boomed, and that's created this shift in those who just order online to have everything delivered to them, and therefore reducing those that actually visit brick and mortar or these large big box stores. In the efforts of sustainability, we want to improve or increase the foot traffic to these stores, and things need to be done in order for consumers to feel wanted at those stores. It's very easy to just order online and have something brought to you, but there has to be something brought new to the table, and that's going to help you create a sustainable business model moving forward. Yes, they have the low cost leadership and they offer lower prices. I just don't think that's going to be enough moving forward to always entertain the customer.
So where are you getting that information from? Only because from most of what I've read from a like business model point of view, when shifts in the market like online purchasing occur, the people or the companies that feel the pinch are the ones in the middle, in the sense that Rolex isn't losing business, right? Rolls-Royce isn't losing business. And then the mass sellers and the price leadership aren't losing business. It's the Gap, it's the Hudson's Bay Company, right? So how do you see this shift being different from past shifts that have always pinched the middle of the sector?
I don't necessarily believe that this is going to be a different shift by any means. I'm not going to say that I am an expert in economics on that side of things. The nice thing about this solution is it's not just designed for big box stores. Genetech works a lot with small and medium-sized businesses as well. and the solution would work for them.
Okay.
I used the example of good.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I would want you. So you're going to also go after that midsection of the market so they can add value to the shopping experience. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
No problem.
So my question is revolving around costs. So you guys mentioned that it was a 5-year kind of development plan to then go to market. That's going to be costly for Genetech, right? 5 years of R&D time is definitely something that's costly. How I missed that part, or it was just too fast. How Genetech's going to make back that money, right?
Apologies for rushing through that. The actual aspect of it is we'll be into market within 2 years with the product, so set to launch in 2023. And that's when revenue could actually start to being made there. The end of the 5th year is when the AI software would be fully developed. And this is where we can start to teach it consumer behaviors and actually dig more into consumer trends focused around building the data analytics for the company. Tom, I believe, would actually be able to add a little bit more on the AI side of that.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, have you guys given any thought as to what the costs are going to look like what we're going to be charging?
No, absolutely. So the model that we built out, I'm just going to get to my slide here. Apologies. So the model that we built out was kind of from the ground up. So say someone was just bringing in this product and services. The product cost itself would be $50,500, and that's including cameras, the tablets, and the software. And that's obviously at 104 cameras, so quite a large venue. And the selling price at $67,500. And once again, that does include a 30% markup and Genetech assurance with the materials involved. And then it would be from there a subscription-based service. And sorry, due to time constraints, I just didn't have the time to pull that all the way through.
So they're gonna pay for that bundle, that $67,500, and then have to cover a monthly subscription-based cost.
Yeah, you can break down monthly. I would say it's on more of a yearly trend.
Okay, but there's additional costs after that upfront lump sum of $67,000.
Yeah, and that's just for the actual service itself. The product cost that you're seeing here is to have the installation of the materials needed to actually ensure that the service can act at its most efficient level.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question regarding a potential client. You mentioned that it takes about 2 years to develop, which is something that we should consider. And I assume the plan is you have to install the software in certain premises, and the software starts learning. And after 2 years, you can basically use the software or make sure that the software works. My question is, as a potential client, how much extra I have to pay if I can go with like something that is existing solution, because you are using me as some sort of test case? Do I have to pay extra on that, or is it going to be for free? How does the business model work?
I think there's I'm just going to break apart some of these connections here. So with the actual product itself, the AI system learning, yes, it could be utilized. You could utilize stores footage to train the AI, but the plan with that was actually purchase within the company to purchase data and utilize that, specifically ones that are including criminal activity the AI can learn. On the company specific side of it though, do you want to just, I'm a little bit hesitant to answer because I don't completely understand. If you want to ask the company part of that again.
No, but what I'm saying is that either you are using the solution or you have to wait 2 years to use it. So which one is it? And as a client, how much extra a client has to pay if there is similar solution without the working software the client has to purchase? Or is it possible? I'm not sure.
I don't necessarily understand how we would say like a separate working solution. If you're talking about another organization, that's kind of something out of my knowledge realm. As for the company itself, if they already have existing infrastructure, this can be built into that. It doesn't necessarily need to be Genetech specific. The opportunity here is to create growth through any sort of implementation and integration.
So based on my understanding is that we have to wait 2 years after the solution is complete, then it can be offered to the clients. Is that correct?
From now until 2023, correct. That's
okay,
when the
good. That was what I was looking for. Thank you.
Apologies.
I have a question. I do want to point out I really like your graphics for the customer. How would you describe and how would you identify suspicious behavior? Like, what does that entail?
I can answer that question. Suspicious behavior is basically not normal behavior. Like if you intend to commit a shoplifting, you will stand in front of a shelf for a very long amount of time, but you're not looking at the product. You're just looking around to see if there are any cameras or people around it. For the long-term growth, we teach the AI to recognize more sophisticated behavior, like a medical emergency situation. For example, if someone having a heart attack, they will grab their chest and fall down, and the AI will recognize that as an abnormal behavior and send the alert to someone with authority so that they can provide immediate medical assistance.
So you would have like a long list of potential things to look out for, just because have you thought into things like false alarms, just like in a dynamic area like a retail store, there's going to be people coming and going for so long, and maybe someone's just looking at something for a while, but they're not actually going to shoplift it. Just like all of the human dynamic factors that could come into play. Do you have like a way to approach that?
That's why, Tom, you want to get it?
I can answer this question. So the point of this is to send the manager a message, and he can just go and talk to the customer. He doesn't have to go and say that the customer have like criminal activity, like suspicion. He can just go talk and ask how he's doing. So if the customer is truly need help, then he can help the customer out. It doesn't like, we don't just straight up say that they're committing. We just ping to the manager so that he can check on the customer.
Just to build on that a little bit, it's not necessarily when something requires attention in this realm of like abnormal behavior, it's only paying a person that's actually in charge, so manager, assistant manager, or someone in duty. Just that being said, that's a safety thing for staff. Not all staff are trained in something like crisis management or theft, whereas a manager is. So we're not necessarily saying like this person is definitely going to steal. It's saying they're exhibiting similar behaviors that the system has learned through past video, and therefore we think that you should check this out. So the goal of the whole thing is to just reduce the potential of theft.
If I could just,
it's very robust. Yeah.
So if I could just interject, like I want to frame what I'm going to say, but I think like you guys, I like your idea the best so far of all the ones I've listened to, but I think you're trying too hard. If I can interject, like if you can have a system that you can put in place where you can monitor the movement of clients and have your staff in the store be able to proactively engage with clients because they're hovering around an area too long, like that's good enough as far as I'm concerned, from improving a client service in a differentiated market segment. Like you're good to go. Like the finding, doing the, what's that, minority report stuff of trying to preempt crime, like forget about it. Like I'm not a high tech guy. Like I said, it's the gremlins and the machines that are making them work. But like you don't need to go there, guys. Like you've got a good idea. You can track people in the store. You can send your clerks to go help them proactively. And you can optimize your labor so your clerks aren't wandering around a store aimlessly with their finger up their nose, right? They know where to go. They know who needs help or who may need help, as opposed to harassing people that don't. That's huge on its own. You don't have to fight crime, okay? Or stop heart attacks, right? I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. Like you can pull it back a little.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. That's a really good suggestion, actually. It's very helpful to know how far we should go sometimes with different business solutions. So yeah.
Typically stop at crime fighting. That's a good rule.
I would like to add to
I
that.
have a question. When you guys did your market analysis, did you look at competition? Is there something similar on the market at the moment?
I can answer this one. When I was doing the market analysis, so I didn't dive extensively far into it due to time constraints. But right now, the leading factor in anyone who's actually doing consumer trends or consumer behavior with footage is Genetech. They have quite a bit going on in regards to recognition and processes like that. And other than that, no one that is within the same time frame to come to market.
Mm-hmm. There are several apps that will analyze foot traffic and give input into that for store managers. And so I was wondering if you looked into what other apps or other companies were doing or planning to do.
So I've seen companies that are, the general ones that deal with the foot traffic aspect of it and counting the number of people that come into the store and leave at a time. That's great for an analytics perspective to see, how busy is the store, but that's not necessarily going to help build. And that's where our solution came in, was a build on that to actually get those clients or the customers the help that they need. And this is in response to COVID as well, talking about efficiency, getting people in, getting people out, therefore reducing clutter and any kind of negative impact that having high exposure in stores.
Yep, and that's gonna conclude the Q&A period.
Awesome.
Thank you guys very much. The judges are gonna go into their rooms now for deliberation.
Thank you for the questions. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for all consulting. Great presentation. If you may now go to your breakout room, Ian is going to be joining you there.
Hello, good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hello. Very nice to meet you all.
Hi.
Likewise.
Hello.
One of our team member is having the disconnection right now. I think he's trying to getting back.
Thanks for the heads up, Em.
Don't be nervous, Victor.
I'm trying to.
Oh, and while we're waiting for our team member try to connecting back, I just want to briefly explain that our financial expert will not joining us today. He has a personal loss just right before the case competition, so he couldn't join it.
So we're just wait team of 3. Yeah. Oh, I think he's in, James.
I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Safety does not happen by accident. It is the result of conscious security measurements that with one designing goal in mind, is to protect the everyday people. With the emerging cyber threats and the shift in your customer demands in the next 5 years, it is time for Genetech to step up and take bold actions. Good evening, my name is James Pham, and I'm here with my colleagues from the Globe Internationals, Victor and Emma. And we are here today to present to you a proposal that will prepare Genetech for the future of security solution. The key opportunity we want to present to you is that to diversify Genetech's security solutions for the current and post-pandemic world. That improvement opportunity stems from the 3 key market demand gap in the market right now. First, there's a gap of secured virtual collaboration platform. Second, there's an increasing demand for contactless security solutions. And finally, there's an upcoming quantum security threats in the next 5 years. Our overall recommendations is that in the short term, Genetech will improve your security, the security of remote collaborations, and also in the public health sectors. And in the long term, it will implement a new cybersecurity solution.
And the very first question we ask ourselves, what made Genetech the industry leader? And the reason behind it that we want to build our plan based right upon your strengths. First of all, Genetech having a cutting-edge technology on both facial recognition and IP-based security solution. Secondly, Genetech is well known and named as a top company in innovative-driven working environment. Last but not least, come from the customer side. Whenever customer came to us, they will be provided with a full circle service, setup, maintenance, and ongoing support. But there are the strengths. How about the market demand? Given the pandemic context in mind, I believe that none of us right now feeling safe when we go to the public space and touch on the public surface. On the other hand, touchless technology is more and more become a digital chain in the future. And given this, Genotech should moving toward touchless solution, so ultimately they can contribute to the public health protection. And not just stop there. COVID-19 forcing everyone to move to virtually and online, and this is posing a big remote collaboration problem. Imagine how hard it is for an engineering student or industry professional who used to have the chance to touch on and use their hand to actually work with the model, now have to have everything envisioned just in their mind. and the limitations are out there. But how does that actually impact business and organization? Almost 80% report that remote work is their top HR challenges. 68% project get delayed. And therefore, Genotech have to move in order to improve the interact working experience so that they not only will protect their internal unique selling point working, but they also help protect their customer working culture. Right now, cybersecurity is one of the biggest concerns for business and organization. Genetech is doing a great job on protecting their customer. However, the biggest threat is yet to come. In the next 10 years, quantum computer will enter the market, and Google stated in one of their reports, it has the potential to be 100 million times faster than any classical computer right now. And therefore, it will break most of the encryption we're having in the market right now. The demand is there. Genotech have to build the shields. They have to bring in quantum security solution in order to protect both the data and the customer data.
We also examined what the current market landscape looks like due to COVID-19. And the first thing we discovered is that about 48% of organizations are planning to at least increase or maintain their current budgets. And of this 48%, 35% of them are going to increase their cybersecurity budgets. This presents a huge opportunity for your organization to come in. And of this sector organizations, we're going to be focusing on those in the educational and also in the healthcare sector. And so what were the 4 major criteria guiding our decision? The first one is that we want to present for your company a big, bold, innovative solution. The next one is that we want to offer a full service support, which is one of your company's unique selling points. Thirdly, we also want our solution to be socially responsible and contribute to the society. And then finally, we want our solution to be scalable beyond Quebec into Canada and eventually into North America.
So our recommendation for Genetech is, in the short term, you develop a secured hologram software for remote collaboration and also in public health. In the long run, we'll bring in quantum security solutions. Introducing Genetech Secured Collab. This is a holographic collaboration software that utilizes 2 of your strong capability pillars. On one side, it utilizes Genetech's facial and movement recognition technologies, and on the other side, it is leverage Genetech's IP-based security system. And as we believe virtual collaborations are here to stay, and the next step of that collaboration is through hologram. Hence, Secure Collab of Genetech will be built for the future collaboration. So how does this work? On one side of the meeting, the Secured Collab will detect facial and movement recognitions leveraging Omnicast facial recognitions and utilize the laptop camera of that person. Then it will create a 3D facial model of the person. On the other side of the meeting, the hologram projectors will project your 3D self so that your colleagues can interact with you. And at the same time, if needed, it can also project holographic objects for people to interact together. But we just did not stop there. We also want to bring hologram software into the public health sector as well. This, when we leverage your advancement in video and optic technology of Genetech to bring in contactless technologies, and on the social side, it improves public hygiene. This software can also not stop in public health, but it also can also be scaled to retail, hospital, and restaurant.
And given the threat is upcoming from quantum computer, and in order to leveraging Genetech's cybersecurity capabilities, we want to introduce the quantum key security solution. And the picture on your screen right now is the base concept of how this technology works. It's based on the quantum mechanism, and this is a fast and secure information transfer. Why? The reason is that by the very moment if an attacker or hacker touch to one particle of your data, that very particle will change itself to protect the data, and it also immediately will send an alert to the user so that the human side, we can take the defense plan for that very attack. And we believe in the future, this technology will tie up directly to video conferencing and also high bandwidth application end-to-end encryption. Our recommendation will be implemented in a short term and a long term. In the short term, we will implement both hologram software for education collaboration and public health. And then in the long term, we're spending from year 1 up to year 10, in where we bring in the quantum key security solution.
Talking about our first stage, we would like to develop Secure Lab by utilizing 4 of your in-house experts. Their expertise will be on facial and movement recognitions and also on IP-based security. Once we have the software, then we'd like you to partner with hologram hardware providers. On the market right now, we have identified prominent providers. That's Holoxica. Their product, it's a 3D telepresence that Secured Collab can implement upon. Once we have the software and the hardware, it is time to market it to the 2 key customers. It's the educators and the doctors. The 2 messages that we want to get across the table is that first, it is a secured platform, and second, it's boasted the interactive collaboration for these 2 groups. And we'll do so through your resellers channels. Right now, you don't have a reseller channels for these 2 new markets yet, but we'll help you to develop it.
I'd also love to introduce to you the hologram software in public health, which will be done side by side the Secure Collab my colleague James already discussed. Very similar process. The first stage involves developing the hologram software, followed by partnership with potential hardware providers such as Holoxica and Lightfield Lab. And then finally, we're going to market it to partners, focusing specifically on the healthcare sector. What is that marketing plan going to look like? The main message, in addition to boosted collaboration, is the fact that we're going to be improving public hygiene. And we're also going to make use of an already established network of resellers and consultants to market this. And our main focus will be on the Quebec public service system. And so what does the overall first stage look like? The first step is that we're going to leverage Genetech's in-house expertise in testing and also building up the software. And we're also going to go through a process of continuous reassessment and updates. And then finally, we're going to deploy in public sectors. The main aim of this message is the fact that we're going to contribute to boosting collaboration and also public health efforts.
Like I briefly discussed earlier, the core client customers are going to be in the public sectors. And when it's drilled deeper, it's going to be on educational institution and will target engineering faculty staff. What this solution will help them is, for example, they can load the AutoCAD model onto Secure Collab software, and that can be projected on the Holoxica 3D telepresence. Right now, with the current unsecured collaborative software, it is not interactive, but with our new Secured Collab software, it is more secured, and more importantly, it is interactive. Similarly, on the healthcare sector side, the doctors can use the Secured Collab software to capture facial and movement of the patients. And then it's like the one for engineering, it's not only secured, interactive, but it's also going to be confidential between the patient and the doctors.
And then in the long term, in where we're introducing the quantum security solution. So the very first step we need to do is having the hardware and having the software. So aside most of the infrastructure in cybersecurity that Genetech already have, we will partner with Bell MTS, one of the biggest fiber optic cable network provider in Canada. And then the reason is that we want first to implement this plan in Quebec and then expand it into Canada. But the plan is still even can explain further to North American. But by the point we cross the border, we will partnership with Starlink so that we can use that satellite in order to implement the security quantum. And on the side of developing the software and training, this is where we want to bring in the heart and the mind of Montreal to collaborate with Genotech. We will bring in 2 quantum key protocol experts that right now working at the University of Montreal. They will act as a consultant to help us build the in-house software team for quantum security solution. For the testing, we will use penetration testing with 6 separate steps that you're seeing on the screen right now. And the last two steps is marketing and the reassessment and ongoing update so that we can keep our full circle as one of our unique selling points. And for the marketing channel, we will still go through the same channel that we do in the long-term state, in the short-term state.
Ethic and sustainability are two factors that we focus on in implementation our plan. And one of the key features of the secured collab software is that it also supports sign language. It can only do so by leveraging your capability in facial and movement recognition that you already have in-house. We want to highlight that our plan economically is a profitable business module and it increases your overall product value. On the social side, it will not only improve the public hygiene, but overall it also supports the healthcare system in Canada. And environmentally, we have a mitigation plan to reuse the old components hardware when the quantum computer comes in the next 10 years.
And so now I'll be presenting to you the financials of our case. And so our cost structure is divided into 6 major buckets: R&D, software, training, hardware, testing, and marketing. And the 2 key points I want to pass along to you now is the fact that over the total cost of our project, over the total lifetime of our project, it's going to cost $152 million, which boils down to an average 12.7 million annually. And also, our projected revenue begins at year 3 when we launch the Hologram software into the market, and also at year 5 when we deploy our quantum security solutions into the market.
And there's 2 big risks we're able to identify. However, I would like to address it during Q&A question. Now, let me give you a brief idea of how recommendation we're doing. After interpreting all the challenges from today, we identify the opportunity for Genotech to take action. On the short term, we recommend you to improve your security in both remote collaboration and public health. In the long term, bringing in the quantum key security solution. And this plan is not profitable, it's also sustainable. It shows that you care about your people, community, and also the environment. And by the end of the day, you can achieve your very first goal, which is to protect the everyday security. Thank you for your listening. And now we open the floor for questions.
Thank you. Now the 15-minute Q&A will begin.
Hi. I might have missed something, to be fair. My question is around, so what I gathered is at its core, what you're offering is basically being able to have a video chat with someone in a secure way, right? Highly encrypted, secure situation. My question, I guess, is where does the hologram aspect, where does the hologram aspect come in? What's the need for it versus just having a video chat that's encrypted?
Yeah, I can take this question.
Unless I might have missed something.
Thank you for your question. So in the short term, what we want to implement is a security solutions for the upcoming virtual collaboration, which is hologram. And based on the market report right now, the next 5 years, the hologram market will be worth $4.5 billion US. 36% of that market comes from North America. And among those percentage, it's the 2 key sectors that have the highest budgets are educational sector and healthcare sectors. That is why we wanted to implement it for the hologram platform.
Why quantum?
Thank you for your question. So we look into the cybersecurity scene. Right now, everything is moving online, and not most amount of data is being out there. So cybersecurity, one of the biggest threats. And then we go through deeper to that line. What is the biggest threat on cybersecurity in upcoming 10 years? And that's where we found the quantum computer. And it can be able to break most of our encryption right now. And then that's why we choose the quantum solution to solve the quantum problem that can come in the next 10 years.
Hey, thank you. I have one question regarding one of the earlier slides that you provided regarding like scanning the, you didn't mention the word scanning, but I suppose it is used for scanning the hologram image for holographic video conferencing. You mentioned that it can be done using the webcam. How is that going to work? Can you explain?
Absolutely. And this is based on the already in-house capability of Genetech that are being implemented for street cameras. The same quality of street camera, it's at 720p for, it's being used for laptop camera as well. So we bring that for street camera and we bring it here for the consumers.
How many cameras do you use?
It's utilized the personal laptop camera of that person who's in the meeting.
It's a single camera then, right?
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
So I have just a quick question. I'm having difficulty struggling with the whole hologram thing because Genetech's business is security. Holograms, and maybe I'm just an old fart, but like seem kind of gimmicky to me, right? Like it's a different way of interacting, right? So to me, on the surface, that seems kind of outside Genetech's business model, right? So, I mean, I could certainly see Genetech bolting on to a company that does holographic communication and saying, okay, well, you offer this service, we can enhance the security of this service. And again, maybe I missed something, but I'm struggling with how the holographic piece falls into the bread and butter of what Genetech does as a business.
Yeah, I can answer these questions. So I understand that a part of your business development is to nurture the current relationship with your current partners, but at the same time, it will should also to carve out new market as well. And right now, those markets are in educational and public sectors. In these two markets, the way that they're virtually collaborating is going to be moving toward holograms. That is why we want to bring that a security solution from Genetech to apply that for the next step of virtually collaborating.
And you think the public sector is going to be the early adopter for this technology?
Yes, because in the healthcare sector, they already are starting to bring in the hologram interactive thing, but right now it's only for objects. It hasn't been implemented for conference yet, but it is coming in down the line in the near future.
Your costing looked really, there were a lot of zeros at the end of your cost. I'm just wondering how, for instance, Concordia University would be able to integrate a sort of a platform with those costs as a publicly funded university.
I can take this one. And so could you clarify your question, sorry?
How would a university like Concordia pay to be the early adopters, which tend to be the ones that pay a premium on technology? How would they pay for this? And first, and also, how would you justify that to the taxpayer that they as an early adopter?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the question. And so what we plan to do is we plan to go from top to bottom. We plan to, first of all, go to the Quebec public service system, and is that's the government of Quebec, and it's through this means or through this method we're going to distill it into the healthcare sector and also the educational sector. And the main thing to know here is that we're not transferring all of this cost to them. It's going to come as like an add-on service, and so they're not going to have to pay say 20 million for the service because we'll be distributing to a lot of clients, and so that cost would also be distributed over to a lot of clients. So they're not going to have to pay like 20 million, say, for this service.
Okay.
Have you looked into hologram solutions, existing solutions, how they work?
Yes, right now the most common holographic solution on the market are for objects, but that is not secure. That is why I think this is where Genetech can come in, because in the future, when the interaction is getting more and more complicated, it will also need to be more secure. I don't want that in the healthcare sector. I don't want people to know about my health records if they can tackle it. At the same time, on the engineering side, if I'm interacting with a confidential 3D module, I don't want others people to know about it. That's why security, it's very important in these two sectors.
Yeah, but I'm having trouble understanding how the scanning would work.
Yeah, I can, let me go back to that slide and I'll explain it again. Sorry, it might have been my bad.
Because you're using the laptop camera, right?
Yes.
So how does that gonna work?
So it has two pieces to it. On one side of the meeting, the laptop camera will scan your face and then create a 3D facial module of it.
How? That is a question. You have a 2D image, right? How it becomes 3D?
And so, of course, in this situation, we're going to have to leverage your in-house capabilities right now. And so right now, one of Genetech is most advanced a lot in video technology and also in facial and movement recognition technology, like my colleague James already mentioned. And so we're going to have to leverage all of these your capabilities in-house to make this technology function.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have any other questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okie doke. So if not, that will end the Q&A period. And
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well done, Globe International. Now, if you may, please move to your breakout room. We're going to have Francis joining you there in a minute. As for the judges, feel free to go into the deliberation room and start.
Sorry, but should I wait for the prompt in order to get to the breakdown?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Oh, I'm just asking that, do I need to wait for the prompt in order to move to the breakdown?
Are you able to move to the break room at the moment?
No, not
okay.
at the moment.
It'll take just a moment.
Sure, no worry.
You should be able to now.
It only shows for me as leave the meeting.
Do you see at the bottom breakout rooms?
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Click on that and go to team 4. All right, guys, so for everybody watching, this will conclude our second round's presentations. I would like to say congratulations to all the teams for getting this far. We've seen some very innovative solutions today. And now that the case competition part of the week is done, I would like to remind everyone that tomorrow we do have our social events. And make sure not to miss the closing ceremony because we'll be giving out awards. And we'll also announce the winner of this competition. So this being said, congratulations everyone and see you tomorrow.
Congrats guys, see you tomorrow.